Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a sneak peek for the year of 2026 Tarot Oracle reading. And Pisces, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Pisces, we still all have a little bit of Pisces in us. Which house is Pisces in if you have your birth chart? That is where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. I've already shuffled and cut the cards here. And we will begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. So we have the Fool. A new beginning and a new year. Way to be, Pisces. That's awesome energy. So the Fool is starting out on their journey. This represents this is the first card in the major arcana, the 0 point. And so this means that we're on a totally new beginning, which is perfect for a new year. And it's really awesome for this one in particular, because moving out of 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. That 9 represents the end of a 10-year cycle. And now we're beginning a new cycle altogether. 2 plus 2 plus 6 equals, 1. 10, and that breaks down to 1. So this is talking about, not only is this a new year moving into 2026, but this is the end of almost a decade cycle, and now we're moving into a new, brand new cycle. And you look like you're ready to go. Look at that. Passion for discovery. So the Ace of Wands is a gift from the universe, from God, because you have followed your path, or you're on a new one. So you must have cleared a lot of energy in that last decade cycle. And the universe and God are rewarding. Sorry, my cat's being a little noisy here. Quit being so noisy, please. You can sit on my lap. Be good girl. Ace of Wands is representing a gift of a passion for new discovery, which is just perfect with this energy. So this is, maybe you were feeling a little bit beaten down by the end of 2025, and now you're ready for new, and you want to have new opportunities and just really move forward. And this is the perfect year to do that. Really good energy to start off this new year. Then we have the February-ish energy. And so this is talking about working on something or finishing something up. This is either you are finishing up a project and then you're going to begin something new, or you are actually starting something new and you've already started it. With this energy, I feel like you're starting something new. So this card, the Pentacles, represent health, wealth, happiness. But in this card in particular, it's the only pentacle card where the person is actually working on the coin. So this one is talking about making money. Money is part of health, wealth, and happiness. And it's either you have this many done and you're working on the second last one, and then you only have one to go, or you just started and you have this one done, you're working on the second, and you have these to go. So it could be either or, because it's really close to finishing something, and it's we're at the beginning of the new year. I have a feeling though that you've started a new project, and you're in the beginning stages of it already. Either way it could be. This is a very lucrative project. You're working towards having, the 10 of Pentacles is a lot of money. And so it's actually generational wealth. It represents a legacy. So this is being able to live in a place where you really love to live in, and having the neighbors and the mansion in the background, and you have time to stop and chat, and there's you have pets and you have children, and it's just really kind of the American dream, I guess you could say. And then we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is representing something that you love. The cup is about love. It quite often means romantic love, but sometimes it just means doing and being something that you love, or moving to a place that you love, that kind of energy. If it is romantic love, the Page of Cups, like the pages worked for the court, and they would begin when they were 7 to 14 years of age, and they would deliver, messages within the court for between the king and the queen, and do small errands. And then when they grew up, if they were doing a really good job and they could afford a horse by the time they were 21, then they might be appointed for knighthood. And so this Page of Cups energy is very enthusiastic, and it's kind of like wanting to really do well in life, and doing what you love to do kind of energy. So that's the spirit of it. And he is looking at this fish in this cup, and he knows there's plenty of fish in the sea, but this is the one that he's focused on. So we'll see what that is. It could be love. It could be love of this. He's got a passion for new discovery. There's lots of competition. This can represent a lot of competition in the field that you're in, or a lot of people in competition for a position that you are maybe applying for, or you're going for an interview or something, because this is all about new. And I feel like this is partly saying the hard work that you've put into it. This is maybe the next step. You already have, pretty good energy with the pentacles here. You're starting out more in your love. This could represent someone, maybe you worked very hard on the pentacle part of your life, and now you want to work on the love part. And perhaps there's someone that you really have your eye focused on, and there's a lot of competition for this person. So this is kind of the energy that I'm picking up here. And then we have this walking away. Okay, and this is walking away from this cup. Now, this could represent then you have a passion for new discovery, and you're going on your path in a different way. You've worked very hard to accumulate and have this life that is what many people consider the American dream. And you were focused the whole time on having this with a particular someone, but there was competition, and now you're walking away. So, or they're walking away kind of energy. And this is something that you've put, like I'm getting a lot of energy in. This is 8 cups. And we have the new moon and the full moon here. This card represents someone that worked on something for quite some time, and they've put a lot of effort into it, and it's just not working out the way they planned. It's not what they wanted. And quite often this does mean about love, romance, but it can also talk about like starting a business, and maybe you had a hobby and then you decide, I'm going to start a business. And then, by the time you were, like however many years later, it could be 8 years later, you're like, man, I used to love this and now I hate it. I'm walking away from this. I'm going to go find a new cup. So that's what that could be. Or the competition was so fierce that you weren't enjoying it. Like it was kind of like you wanted to have a more laid back life. That's an energy I'm also picking up. This energy is talking about the new moon and the full moon. So the full moon in December was a Gemini full moon, and it was really shining light on situations. So you may have found something out about this energy, and maybe if it was a love interest, you found something out that you didn't want to hear about the person that you've been pouring all this passion into. And that's why now you're deciding, I'm moving on. And it's taken you like January, February, March, April, May, June to come to this decision. So it's talking, and how I'm reading these cards right here is the trajectory of the path that you're on. We always, we can't predict future with a bunch of little cards here. God is the only one that can see the full picture, but we can predict if you stay on this path that you're on, how it's going to keep going, and how if you decide to walk away now, what's going to happen, that kind of energy, or what's more likely to happen. And so let's look into this. So yes, it's coming up. That's the energy I was picking up. It's coming up with whatever happened here, and it might have happened at Christmas time in 2025, because we're moving, because all of a sudden now you have a passion for discovery. This card sometimes could represent hiring a detective, like a private eye or something like that kind of energy. trying to figure out if this is real, is what's coming up, or is there something fishy about your love life? That energy, and this is someone that you've poured a lot of energy into. And the hangman represents someone who's hanging from the tree of knowledge, and they're hanging there because they want to gain a new perspective. So they're looking at this issue or this problem or whatever this is from a new perspective, and they're looking at it from every angle that they can look at it from to see if they can figure out what happened here. Sometimes this can represent that you've been working really hard on something, and now you have 8 cups already, and now you're going upstream, and you're going to go and see if you can add 1 more cup to it. But I feel like there's something fishy here. And this energy is like adult, like immature competition kind of energy, like something happened there. And the energy is maybe this was the Page of Cups, was because this is communication. And I just want to point out that this is an archetype. And this is the only archetype that we really, other than the Fool on their new journey. This could say the reason you're on a new journey is you had some form of communication come in regarding your life, and there was something fishy going on. And now that you found out what it is, because this can also represent like tactics to really, like someone wants to win no matter what energy. And this is like immature attitude about competition. This is my Mean Girls card. Like this is like narcissistic cheerleaders. They want to win, and they'll do what they have to win. And if they don't, their mothers will. So this is that real, that kind of energy. I feel that this energy, like the full moon was on December 4th in Gemini, and we do have, at the time I'm doing this reading, it's the 13th of December. And so we do have a new moon coming in on the 20th in universal time. And I've been thinking about doing a reading for all the signs. It's, for the new moon, because this moon energy just keeps coming into all of my readings. And I feel like maybe like at the full moon is when you release, and the new moon is when you move forward. So that energy might be really empowering for you. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So yeah, I feel like, the 10 of Pentacles is one thing, but now you've got a generational wealth, a legacy here. So this energy is talking, the King of Pentacles is someone who's really admired for their financial acumen. They usually are a professional with a really good understanding of economics, and they are in high standing in in their society. And the King of Pentacles is very knowledgeable about business and how to bring what is in the ethers down to earth. And this energy could represent that you are the King of Pentacles, or want to be the King of Pentacles, or you're consulting with someone, because this can represent a financial advisor or that kind of energy. I feel like you're kind of disappointed in the results of whatever you poured your work into. And you're starting off the new year, you have a passion, like you're being more analytical is what I'm picking up. And so before you were kind of, I feel like going by, we'll see what happens kind of energy. And now you're like, no, I'm going to analyze this and I'm going to figure it out. This energy, the Pisces energy can be very deep, very, deep emotions, and all of that. And you've put a lot of work into this. So it may be you're trying to get the information, how you can compete in a better way. And you're looking at it from all angles, and a really good idea. You're consulting with experts in this field. It could be regarding marketing. It could be about how to make more coin through marketing, or it could be like what happened here. How can I improve to make this better? And this passion for new discovery is the perfect energy to be in for 2026. There's a wounded warrior here, and so although this has cups here, I'm not picking up the energy, because there's it's starting with a lot of pentacles. There's some action happening, and there is some love energy here, but it feels like it's more about something that you love and that you want for it to work, right? And you're like, okay, what can I do before totally giving up on this? What can I do? And you're walking away to go find answers here. You've poured your energy into it is what's coming up. And before giving up on it, you want to see, consult with the experts, really analyze what happened here. And then these are like the wands, the seeds that you planted are, like they're behind you. And if this is, if you're in this energy where you already have this here, but you're disappointed in the results, then, it's time to go deeper into it and really look at it. Really good energy for, before giving up on something that you've put this kind of energy in, make sure that you're ready to. Now that could represent a love relationship, like a marriage or something a partnership you were in. This could represent a partnership in business also, and you're deciding, okay, would I be better off on doing my own? I'm getting the energy of that you're the one who's been responsible for this, and you're wondering, this is the wounded warrior. So this is kind of like, is this really what I want? Like, and there's a lot of competition for your position and a lot of competition in the field that you're in. And you're just kind of like, wow, like all of this for money, it's not worth it to you. It's you're not loving it as much as you used to. But then the Lovers comes in. So the Lovers card is confirming that there could be a love relationship here for some of you that this is about. It could be like a marriage that you've been in for a very long time and you're not finding it satisfactory anymore and you're thinking about walking away. Perhaps you're fighting all the time. Perhaps someone has been stepping outside of the marriage or whatever because there's competition here. And this is kind of the energy, it's cold in here. There must be something in the atmosphere. And so this energy can also be talking about errant energy, like that doesn't belong here coming in. So someone, this could represent you and your partner in a love relationship, or it could represent one of you stepping out of that relationship. And the Lovers here, you notice there's this cloud in between the two of you, and that is representative of not really knowing each other as well as you think you have. This can also represent in a person your masculine and feminine energy and making the choice. This card is about choices, and that's what this here is. This is about walking away. I'm done. I'm walking away, or I'm moving towards something different. I feel like that's the energy here. So we'll see if this is about love or if it's something about, a partnership in business or something that you just love, like something you've always wanted to do and you're walking away to go do it. Okay, you feel like you've been left out in the cold and it's this energy here. So this card represents someone who's been through it, and it feels like has to do with a lover, and it's like feeling left out in the cold, like it's this person is on crutches, and this one, they're clearly, they're not dressed for the winter. They could go into the church behind them here, but it's like a 50-50 energy, and they've decided, okay, we're going to keep walking by this church, and we're going to take our joint forces here, and we're going to collaborate with each other. And we're going to do our best to walk through this. This can talk about tactics, and so can this. So this could be like dirty tactics from the competition to win. And that could be over love, a business, or whatever. This can talk about a 50-50 relationship. One person was pouring a lot of energy into it, and the other person was not pouring a lot of energy into it. And it's not the first time that you've noticed it, and there's something fishy going on. I feel for sure, if this is about a partnership, a love relationship, there was something fishy going on, because this is tactics. And this talks about you can handle a few tactics, you can handle a few flakes, but if they start adding up, they pile up on your roof. And if you've ever lived in Canada, what starts off as a slow storm can turn into like, you know, a real bad disaster, like, and it can actually collapse your house. And this is talking about also collapsing your emotional, physical, your temple. Your body is your temple. And it's also talking about like this fishy energy, the energy may have come out. And you know how fish smell. This is kind of like something here smells so bad that it is going to have to come out. And I feel like the energy is, you know, if in Canada, if you have a dog and you just let it out the door for the winter, like some winters here, and depending on what part of the country you're in, they can last like months, like 4 or 5 months, unfortunately, sometimes. And if you don't pick up after your dog for that length of time in the spring, eventually the sun is going to melt the snow, and all the shift that you didn't pick up, all the shift that was happening will be exposed, and it'll be very public because you can't help but notice the smell. It's overwhelming. If you've ever lived in a country where there's a lot of snow in a city, you know, you'll understand, like, you can't just let your dog out and let the snow cover it, let your dog out, and then 2 months later you're still just doing that. In the spring, they actually have companies in Canada that you can hire to come and clean that mess up for you, and it's a mess if, you know, you've been doing that. So it's kind of talking about that kind of energy. Yeah, a light has been shone on this energy. And I feel like perhaps it's because you consulted with someone, and like if it was about a business, or maybe you hired a private eye to follow your partner to see if they were cheating or whatever. Something like that, because the Hermit represents someone who's going through a black night of the soul. They found out something and they're devastated about it, and they want to know, like they want to know, like, first how, like, what. Oh, sorry, my cat just bumped the camera, so it's going to be moving for a minute here. You be a good girl. You sit nice, or else you can't sit here with me. So the Hermit energy, yeah, this is about someone having a partner who causes more problems than... I didn't mean that, Stella. You usually are a good girl. So the Hermit has gone up to the top of the mountain and receiving enlightenment. And I feel like this enlightenment came in, but it's taken this much time for you to really look in it. And because I feel like this is like not a small deal. This is something that you've been dealing with for quite some time. So the Hermit will go up to the mountain, and you notice the snow is starting to melt now. So he has the information that he needs. He's going to come down from the mountain, and he's going to implement what he has to have this new journey, this new life. And it's a year of discovery, and this kind of energy is coming up a lot for 2026. This is really finding out what really is happening in your life and in your business and all of that, and on a bigger scale around the world. So this, I'm going to clarify this because maybe we can see like more specifically what this is about in some ways. And if you're enjoying this reading, Pisces, please do like and comment. It really does empower me to build my channel. I'm clarifying this with my Oracle, Tales from the Vector. I don't have it quite completed yet. I'm working on it. There's 64 paintings, and I started it in 2007. Just tuning into the energy here with my cards here. Oh, there we go. This is the one that wants to come out. So I started it in 2007, and I completed the 64th painting at the end of 2020. And now I'm just working with you to gather the information so that I can print it and put it out there. And so the card that came up is Dissension. So dissension is one of those tactics. And this is like with friends like this, who needs enemies? So it feels like some of your friends or other people that you considered like associates in your line of work, people that you could trust, you found out maybe that they were in competition with you, not so much wanting you to do well, but trying to compete with you, and you didn't realize to the extent what it was. This is talking about swimming with sharks, like with friends like this, who needs enemies? So keep your enemies or your friends close, and keep your enemies closer. So this is that dissension of information, not really getting the true information, and that gossipy type of energy, right? So this could be about your reputation and the competition, like kind of doing their best to take you down so that they could take your position. And then we have the trauma queen here in January. So I think the shift hit the fan in January, like this energy, because we have the snow here. This is October, November, December. So I feel like this is kind of representing last year's energy in some way, and you had some enlightenment, and now you're on a new journey, because that's what we're starting with here. And so this could represent the end of 2025. And it's the trauma queen, like, you know, a lot of drama here. And it's not drama that you created yourself. So but it's drama that you have to deal with. Perception. So someone felt like the grass was greener on the other side because it's fake. This and that kind of energy. And I'm picking up now, if this was like something fishy in your love relationship, it could have been even so bad as your partner was collaborating with the competition, and well, it was pretty shifty, right? Smelled bad, fishy energy, smelling really bad. The mother's worry. So one of the most major accomplices of worry, like, or of things, like these are all actually major accomplices. So this is energy outside of yourself. And someone's mother was involved in this. So, I mean, if you're married, it could be your mother-in-law or your own mother. Like if people know that something's happening and they don't let you know, and they're that close to you, that could be an issue. It also could be an issue that you're a worrywart, like, and mothers are taught to worry. And remember, this King of Pentacles can be a woman in their masculine energy. These are archetypes. So it can be a man in his masculine energy or a woman in her masculine energy. And I'm almost picking up an energy of like a real, something people are gossiping about because perhaps it has to do with gender, that kind of energy. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is talking about synchronicities coming together so that you could get this information, because it's right on here. And this is meant to happen. You're meant to have a happy journey in life. And the Wheel of Fortune has clicked. So this is past, present, and future. And I'm really feeling that this was the past. This energy here, I feel, is more like the 2025 energy, and this is the 2026 energy. And however it plays out will depend on how, you know, what you release and how much new you decide to bring into your life. So the Wheel of Fortune talks about karma. Karma is cause and effect. So whatever has been done in the dark is now coming out to light, and the snow is melting and it's starting to smell. That's the energy. And so we have Pisces showing up for Pisces, and this is talking about authority, and this is talking about what are you willing to accept and what are you not willing to accept. That's the energy I'm picking up. Pisces is a senior executive. This is someone, like, you're someone that is you know, knowledgeable, and you've put your time into it, and you are an authority of your own, in your own business is what's coming up. But something, you know, there was something that you had to go deeper. And for this energy, maybe the business that you love, or the relationship that you love, or the relationship that you want, is you have to go deeper. This is time to sink or swim kind of energy. You know, and that's this energy of the full moon meeting the new moon. And then we have Aquarius. And so this is about the Aquarian. Okay, so in 2020, around that time, we moved from Pisces energy, which we'd been in, I think it's like 1600 and some years, years. Like, so we were in this Pisces energy, which is kind of the old boys club, that kind of senior executive, you know. A lot of that energy was more of a masculine energy, like more men ruling. And then when we moved into the age of Aquarius, remember, we're still just at the baby stages of that. The age of Aquarius is more is an air sign. Aquarius is air and Pisces is fish. And so the energy is like, if you are a fish that's taken out of water and you're put in the air like this, you're going to be very uncomfortable, and you're going to have to figure out a way to survive. Because the Aquarian energy is not emotional. It's not like built on a handshake kind of energy at all. This is more about observe and try and experiment. And then if that doesn't work, then try another experiment. It's not about, in the old days, or in this old energy, people would start working for a company and they'd stay in that company for their entire career, or they would start a career and they would stay in that career for their whole life kind of energy. But the age of Aquarius is very different. The age of Aquarius is, you know, like short bursts of energy. And, you know, if it's not working, let's start working on changing it, turning it around. So the competition with all the technology that's come out with computers, and in particular with AI, just even in the last 6 months alone. And that's what I'm feeling here. That kind of energy has been, you know, like, you have to be able to keep up with that technology. And if you are not willing to do that, then maybe it's time that you do walk away, because you will, it's hard to compete with people who are being innovative in the age of Aquarius. In the age of Pisces, a handshake was a handshake, and you could count, like, a man was a man of his word kind of energy. In Aquarius energy, it's very different. And I feel like that, I feel a lot of people are going through this. A lot of people are going through this. It's a change in energy. It's a change in, this energy is definitely about something you love, or a relationship that you love, you know, about someone that you love in a relationship. And it also could be both. Then we have indifference. So people say, oh, we're all in it together. You'll hear people saying that, but some of them are making money and you're not. So you're not all in it together, in that way, is what I'm picking up. So this is people who are indifferent to the suffering of other people from their actions, basically. When people say that, hey, we're all in it together, but, you know, they're kind of saying that to you, but they're not acting that out to you kind of energy. That's that's indifference. So that's not about getting neutral. It's not about being like taking two extremes and getting strong to both extremes so that you can find creative solutions in the middle. It's about, I don't care what's happening to you. I'm looking after myself. And that's the energy of Aquarius when it's not in a real strong, you know, way. And when these signs come up, this can represent actual people that you know that are of that sign. But when I'm doing these readings, especially with a general reading like this, I'm talking about the state of being, of that energy. And like Pisces energy is the end of the line. It's the last card in the zodiac. It's about, you know, senior executives. Like, it's someone who's been around the block a time or two. And it's the Aquarius energy is, you know, that energy of intellect and experimentation and moving forward in that way. So there's quite a clash here, and that's why we're all feeling this, and we're all going to feel this. It's not a good or a bad thing. It is just the way it is. This is the direction that we're headed, and we're in the very beginning stages of it. So these are more about stage of life, and Aquarius and Pisces represent people that are very mature and have been around the block a time or two. And then, although this energy, Aquarius, is more about, you know, this energy, because it's willing to experiment, right? So this energy here, how to manifest on earth, that's the energy I'm picking up, because this is my manifester card. So it's talking about to be able to manifest on earth now. The King of Pentacles is going to have to adopt some different ways of moving into this energy and not take it personally. It's not personal. It's the wheel is turning. The whole universe is moving into a different energy, and it happens. I have to look it up like every 16 to 1700 years. So that's the energy, and yeah, the Aries. Now we have Aries coming out here. And I feel like this is, the wounded warrior is feeling this way, like, it's kind of like, his head is bandaged. He's been like, what am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? And do we have even one sword out here? I don't think we have a single sword, So there's it's that kind of energy, like I can't even figure out how to fix this. My business was doing really well and now it's not, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And it's not so much about wrong and right, it's about this shift in energy, and you have to adapt to it. And I feel like that's the energy coming in. It's really good advice for all of us to recognize that, because why beat your head against the wall, right? An infant, Aries, comes in, that energy is rammy, and it's like that, babies come in head first. And so you don't want to be, beating your head against the wall and taking actions that aren't working because you're doing it in this old energy, when if you just shifted into this energy and looked at it from this perspective, then it would be a really good idea to hire someone or take some courses or whatever to understand how this computer and technology energy works, because it can, there's some good and bad about it, just like everything. And so this is about this energy, this new technology and AI and all that. I feel like it has its purpose. It can really save you a lot of time by setting up systems to make your everyday, what would take you hours and hours, it can do it in minutes, or in an hour instead of in 3 hours. So it frees you up to do other other things, and you can use it a lot for structure like that. In your business, in your life in general, like just being able to pay your bills in one, ding, they're done. Whereas before you'd have to sit there, go to the bank, that kind of energy. So when your competition is doing it that way and you're still doing it the old way, you're going to find it really challenging to be able to keep up. And then we have father figures. So look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 major accomplices, and then being left out in the cold. So father figures is like the energy of, someone who pretends to be a father figure and isn't really, or it's someone who was a really good father and this is the way he did business and he taught you to do business and maybe you took over the family business. That's the energy I'm picking up, and you're still trying to do it the way your mom and your dad did, and they were successful. They had all this good life. Now you've taken it over and all of a sudden everything's going to shift, but it's not because, it's because you're trying to do things the same old way, and you can't. It's just, I've explained that, why you can't. And then the sun comes in and it melts the snow, which happens every year. And then the stink starts, and then it's so stinky that everybody notices. Trust me on this one. If you've ever lived in a neighborhood like that where someone hasn't picked up their dog, when you start opening your windows to let the fresh air in, you notice. And so that's the energy. God is melting the sun for you, basically. When you went up to the mountain to confer with God to find out what was happening, you're finding out everything. And it stinks. That's what's coming up. And it's good because now, once you have that information, you can take more intuitive steps and you can solve your problem here. And this is 2 + 8 is 10. That's the guiding star, using your intuition as well as your logic, going up to the mountain and not making any moves right now until you're satisfied that you have all the information that's coming in. 2 + 8 is 10. This is a good way to start the year. This passion for new discovery is going to shift this. I really like this energy. It's not maybe the most fun, but it's really good advice for all of us that we have to adapt here now. And I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. And I enjoy the information, I like the problem not so much, but I really do enjoy the advice, because it's good advice from you Pisces. Thank you. Senior executive, been around the block, you know a thing or two. Listen, that's the energy. So please do like and comment. If you have enjoyed it, consider subscribing. If you find the information on my channel valuable, I would consider that an honor. And I will be back with another reading. I am going to sneak in this new moon bonus reading right away here, because it's coming up for everybody in every sign. I feel it will be really valuable, so keep an eye out for that. Bye for now. Okay, Stella, we have to turn the camera on.